we are talking Aquarium of the Dead. And this movie is actually the third movie in the Zombies series, which is the Asylum's zombie animal series. Zombies, you see what they did there? The first two movies being zoo animals come to life. This one, it's an aquarium with a variety of aquatic based animals coming back in zombie form. The setup here is an aquarium getting ready to open, gets this kind of consignment of this special drug that has caused the previous movies to happen, and it gets administered primarily into this octopus, this giant octopus, but then kind of that affects the rest of the animals, and we get a small group of survivors trapped within this aquarium with a variety of zombie sea life trying to attack them. What will happen? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. So I actually somewhat enjoyed the first Zombies movie. Yes, it's cheesy. Yes, it's an asylum film there. Dreadfully kind of woefully made with crappy CGI, but I still had a little bit of fun with it. I thought it was a fun, neat concept. And, you know, I can kind of somewhat accept shoddy CGI in a low-budget film. If you're going to go in knowing that's what you're going to get, kind of, it tends to be less disappointed with it. What can I say that works with this one? I actually think that having a horror movie based in an aquarium, or kind of like a sea life centre, is a unique place to have a horror movie. I don't remember ever really seeing a horror movie set there before. And it is obviously filmed in at least portions of it are filmed in a real life kind of sea life centre, aquarium. And we do see, you know, a variety of actual real animals kind of like knocking around in the background. I wonder if only they knew they were going to be in a low-budget zombie movie. But anyway, so that makes it quite fun, obviously, having this kind of film set in there. You know, it's somewhat of a unique environment. There's a couple of characters that I didn't mind. We have a kind of like a buddy thing where we have this guy who's being shown like a VIP tour before they're open, and he's kind of like this guy that's kind of showing him around. There's some scenes with those two guys which I thought were quite kind of fun, and yeah, I suppose the concept is quite a fun one, at least on paper. And here's where it all goes wrong. So as I said, I did quite enjoy the first Zombies movie, and aquatic horror is my favourite subgenre, along with kind of the haunted hospitals, if we have to be really specific about our subgenres. And I like zombie films, so you would have thought this one would be an easy sell for me. But man, this movie's dull. It is dull. Why do I say that? How can I qualify it? Okay, so yes, the CGI isn't good. I expected it. I kind of knew that was going to happen. But I didn't expect us to barely see any of the kind of the creatures. If you're watching a zombie movie with animal zombies as the primary selling point, and I know Asylum cheaps out on their CGI, but man, this was like taken to another level, to be honest with you. Even when we get animal attacks, a lot of them are done off screen, where we see people kind of like stamping on things. But we don't actually see the actual creatures themselves, stuff like that, or I'll only see like a partial, you know, like the back of it or something like that. The actual CGI on screen is, you know, you can probably time it to no more than 2 minutes, I would say. And even some of them, they use the same kind of, like, there's a crocodile that's just like slowly wandering around the place, and it's the same sort of animation that it's kind of using. And I'm assuming some of this stuff is, you know, the kind of the rendering is stuff for other films and stuff like that. Most of this movie is people running around corridors. That's basically the movie. We have a variety of people running around corridors, or it's Vivica A. Fox like sitting on a computer desk tapping stuff. That is the bulk of the running time of this movie. Dull. Dull. The animal attacks, when we do see them, are very low energy, you know. the conceit with having, you know, aquatic animals become zombies. We never once see a submerged attack. Not once. You know, we have these animals like waddling around on the ground. We've got like a walrus kind of waddling around on the ground, or a crocodile or something like that, or sharks that are beached kind of like, we don't even properly see the sharks. We don't even properly see most things in here. So the concept is wasted. You know, I was thinking how you know, obviously with zoo animals, they can get around. They can get the attacks can come from anywhere. I suppose it's an easier film to produce. With aquatic animals, where they're limited to having to be in water, it's harder, admittedly, but you've got to think of a way to do this. But unfortunately, because the asylum runs on such a shooting budget, they're not going to be able to have like underwater photography and setups where people are getting attacked actually by, you know, genuine kind of zombie, you know, animals underwater. It doesn't happen. You know, we get a couple of like starfish creeping along the floor. The best CGI is probably a couple of shots of this octopus. But for the most part, this is just like little pockets of characters with kind of like, how are we going to get in? How are we going to get out? These doors aren't going to open. How are we going to open these doors? That is literally the bulk of the running time in this movie. What about, are the performances good, you might ask? You know, it might have a crappy story, but are we having some sweet, sweet acting? You can probably guess what I'm going to say without even saying it. No. To be honest, everyone is kind of like a cheesy caricature. We know we've got the kind of the sleazy politician that turns up, and the inside guy, and the crazy doctor. So everyone's kind of like an OTT kind of character. I think maybe our main sort of character, this kind of administrator of this aquarium, maybe probably fares the best in the acting. Miranda, the character, I think probably is the only one that I think actually has a, you know, somewhat of a normal human response to things like that. But the movie's just boring. Boring. I can accept a bad movie, but a boring bad movie? Woo! Man. Especially when it's wasted such a fun concept as this. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the first Zombies movie. I thought it was a fun concept, done relatively well for the low budget that it had. This one, no, it's no good. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.